Right now, our faculty are looking at the origin of man and even the origin of our ancestors' ancestors, primates, non-human primates. Where did we come from? How did evolution occur for man? We're trying to answer those questions, and again, those are the kind of big questions that we try and face. But science also, of course, helps us deal with day-to-day things that are very important. I mentioned before that my research had to do with infectious diseases. And one of the things I learned as an infectious disease doctor was the fact that evolution was very much real and was occurring every day. I saw evolution happen every day. Why? Because I dealt with viruses and bacteria that undergo mutations, changes in their DNA or RNA, that can make them more virulent, more capable of causing disease. We all saw the swine flu last year, right? What was swine flu? It was really a flu virus that had mutated and changed. So now our normal host defenses weren't as effective against it. The immunity that had come from a vaccine no longer worked well against it. So it spread throughout the world. Many of you may have had a vaccine against it to help prevent it. All these things I think were incredibly important. And all of these things I think again point out how important science is. So science helps explain the world around us, and science and technology help develop ways to make the world better. You name it, air conditioners, which we're all relying on today, the internet, my iPad, which I'm using to my notes for my speech, solar panels, new crops that are resistant to disease, new scanners that allow us to look inside the human body without surgery. These are all things that we've benefited from science and technology. And research is really the key underpinning of science. So research what you're going to do this summer is really what makes science special. And I believe very strongly that research is not something you can do by reading about it. To me, it's like riding a bike. You could read all the books you want about how to ride a bike. You could say, well, you've got to sit on the seat, you've got to put your feet on the pedals, you've got to hold on to the handlebars. You could read that. But we all know when you went to sit on that bike, having read about it wouldn't really matter too much, right? You had to get on it. You had to train your body, train your muscles. Well, in the same way for research, you have to train your mind. It's a different way of thinking. It's more rigorous than you're used to. It's really different than the way we think about things normally. You have to be more precise. Precision is absolutely key. It's very much evidence-based. So this is really your first opportunity, or maybe one of your first opportunities to get that training, to get that research, and begin to think like a scientist. And I think thinking like a scientist is a very good thing. Now more than ever, we're confronted by all sorts of ideas. They come in the news, on TV, on the internet. They compete for our attention. They compete for our money. Scientists think analytically. We're open to new ideas, but we're also skeptical. We ask for evidence that something is so. Anybody watches late night TV, you've probably seen ads where they advertise a magic pill that you can take. And if you take that pill, your metabolism will increase and your body fat will melt away. And it's amazing. And they have pictures of people before they take the pill, and they look bad, and then after they take the pill, they look wonderful and slim. And so the question is, should you spend $60 for this pill for a month's supply? Well, scientists would look at this and say, well, how does this pill actually work? What does it actually do? We know a lot of things about nutrition. We know a lot of things about calories. We know a lot of things about how fat is generated in the body, how fat is used in the body. And they would ask, how would this pill melt fat away given what we know about it? What are the ingredients of the pill? And are they things that could have an impact on fat metabolism as we know it? A scientist would also ask, what's really the evidence that this pill works? They have these before and after pictures, but how many people have actually tried it? Did they have a control group? And this is really important in science, the control. Did they have a group that took the same pill except it lacked the vital ingredient? And did people do other things during this trial, right? So when they take the pill, did they also eat less? Were they told to have a different diet? Did they exercise more? Things that could lead to weight loss in the group that took the pill, the before and after, yet had nothing to do with the effects of the pill. So we need to be skeptical, and that's something scientists do. We need to demand solid proof, and that's what a scientist does. But I also want to emphasize that when the data is clear, and when the data support a hypothesis, then scientists act on that evidence. And we accept things even if it's absent, even if it's contrary to what we thought was conventional wisdom. So even if this goes against what we used to think, if the data is really clear, we accept it. And I think scientists ask for proof, but when it's provided, we accept it and we act on that evidence. And I think there's a lot of things, evolution, the safety of vaccine, global warming, are three good examples where science is clear, yet people continue to raise doubts on non-scientific grounds. And that's where as a scientist you really have to speak up and defend the scientific process. So you're entering the world of research, and you're taking your first step to becoming a scientist, or someone who knows how to think like a scientist. So in the last part, let me tell you what I think you need to bring with you from school to be successful in the lab this summer. And many of you think I'm probably going to say, well, lab experience or a biology course or something like that, but I'm not. First, I think you need to bring your math. Okay, it's really important. Science is about measurements, it's about precision, and you need to be able to make simple calculations, whether it's to analyze the significance of data or determine how to make a solution. So math is key. And I'm not necessarily talking about higher math, not even calculus, for example, but basic arithmetic, algebra, these things are really important. So I'd make sure you're up to date on that. Next, you actually have to be able to write. Science is about communicating. One of the things you have to be able to do as a scientist is communicate your results. It's really critical to what we do. We have to tell other people about what we found because then it can be evaluated. Other people can test and see whether these facts really do hold up. So it's very important you be able to communicate. So writing, I think, is an important component. And finally, and people have talked about this before, you have to bring your enthusiasm and your willingness to work hard. There is no real substitute for hard work. I think there's nothing that substitutes for it, and I encourage you to really take advantage of this opportunity and really make something out of it. I think you'll do that if you work hard. So I want to close by stating how pleased I am to be here today, to be a small part of this fantastic ceremony. A program like the Harlem Children's Society can't work without 4 components. First of all, it needs students who want to learn and want to experience the pure joy of discovery, and you're here today. We need mentors and scientists who are absolutely committed to sharing their love of science with others and will open their lab up and make time to help students. We need families who are willing to support you in your pursuit of this vision, and they're very important for those family members who are here today. I thank you for your support. And finally, we need visionaries like Dr. Sad, who have the energy to bring something wonderful like the Harlem Children's Society to life. So to each and every one of you, my congratulations for your part in what will be a great experience for all of you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sam, and Mrs. Stanley. It was delightful to have you here with us as well in the hot, sunny day. We have also, in fact, many of the students have already wanted to talk to you. Maybe on your way out, you'll probably come across some of the students who are heading your way in your university campus. So thanks a lot again. Thank you. We have one of our students who graduated from Dartmouth this year, and you introduce yourself as well.
Hi, I can introduce myself. I just wanted to introduce the other speaker, if you don't mind. So next up we have the Honorable Mrs. Sengupta. She is the district leader of District 27. She is a longtime activist and civic leader. She was born in India and had immigrated to the United States in 1970. Throughout her life, she has donated much of her resources and energy to many worthy, charitable, political, and social causes. She's worked on issues on early education, healthcare, immigration, women's rights. The list goes on. So please help me welcome Mrs. Sengupta.
Good afternoon, everybody. And it's my pleasure and privilege to be here in front of you, so many young generation. And I'm really, really proud all of you. But you are student now, you are heading for the education. Some of them will be scientists or engineering or other type of education. But I just want to tell you, in this room, I see that Assemblyman said the mosaic of the life. So different nationalities, different countries, students are here. So the privilege which you are getting now, but when we migrated to this country, we didn't get it. That's the way. You are very, very lucky that your parents are helping you out to get a better life, to have a good education. And I'm very proud of you, and also I'm very proud of Mr. Sat Banerjee. He is doing marvelous thing. Number one, I'm very proud of him. Second thing, I'm very proud of him. He comes from India, my country.